Thanks for joining us on PMW News.
For weeks we have been covering every development in the search for Gabby Petito, and then of course the manhunt for Brian Laundrie. While the investigation continues, the intensity of that search for answers appears to be slowing down, at least for some, and we wonder, will we ever have answers to some of the biggest questions? And also, what happens now? Brian, it's been a while since we heard from the FBI about the investigation and where things stand. Do you expect them to release any more information at this point? And what are the big things we're still waiting to hear?
Well, it has definitely been very quiet for the last week or so. We have heard nothing officially from the FBI or police, but there is a little bit of new information that I was able to get just within the last 2 hours, and this comes from the Laundrie family attorney Stephen Bertolino. He tells us that he was informed by the FBI that they have all the information they need from the Laundries for this investigation. So they are now done, apparently communicating with the Laundrie family and Mr. Bertolino in regard to this investigation. What happens next? That's what you just asked? We don't know. Two things could happen from what I'm hearing from law enforcement experts. Number one, the FBI could put out some kind of press release or memo, or even hold a news conference and put out to the public what they know, possibly officially connecting Brian Laundrie to Gabby Petito's death. Or it is possible that the FBI just never says anything and that we never find out exactly what sort of evidence they have.
Let's hope it's the first of those two options. Brian Laundrie's remains. We know Brian was sent to an anthropologist to determine cause and manner of death. Will investigators release that information? Do you anticipate that they will be shared with the public and the media?
Well, we think that they will have to under open records laws eventually, but it could take some time because the latest we've been told is that the examination of the remains by the anthropologist could take quite a bit of time, perhaps a month or more, and they still have to do the DNA test, the official DNA testing on the skeletal remains, so all of that is likely going to take some time.
Well, and the other question I have is Gabby's autopsy. We learned about her cause of death, manner of death. But are there other details that the coroner did not release, and would they potentially release that information in the hopes that it may help provide some answers?
Absolutely, there is a lot of information that wasn't released. You remember the coroner was very guarded with what he would say, because all of this was under investigation, basically just saying that it was a strangulation, but beyond that, toxicology and all of the other questions we had, he said he could not answer because the FBI was actively investigating. So that's another road we're gonna have to go down. They will have to release that information eventually, once this investigation is officially closed.
You mentioned you're in contact with Bertolino, the attorney for the Laundries. Any plans for them next? Are they through him sharing what they're going to be doing? I don't think that just because the investigation slows, the attention on them stops.
Yeah. There is still attention on them. He's not really giving any details on what their plans are. You know, now they've got the no trespassing signs outside their house. We know they've been moving around Northport, because we've heard from people in Northport that they're out and about in town, but he's not revealing exactly what their next move will be.
Ryan Anton reported from Florida. Still many questions, and the investigation continues. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more news from PWM News, the unbiased coverage.